Hello, beloved of the Lord. This is Bev Potter. It is Tuesday, October 30th, 2018. So today is the last day, the seventh day of Tabernacles, I believe. And I would like to speak to you about something that I heard at the end of a dream back in the spring. And what I heard was, by the end of October, we could begin to see the manifestation of the glory. So we could begin to see. So for myself, I will be watching because I want to see what is coming. And tomorrow is the end of October. Now, I did not expect to see anything manifest during Tabernacles because Tabernacles speaks of being hidden. So, but tomorrow is the 8th day. And okay, I've got my notes and now I'm not going in order at all, so I'm sorry if I get mixed up later, but I'm going to go with this flow. Okay, so Tabernacles. All right, there's been a shift in my focus from the bride to the man-child. And so I want to look at Tabernacles and the meaning as far, okay, let's just look at. So the first day of Sukkot, I learned, was Jesus's birthday. I never knew that before, but I learned that from listening to the Assembly of Called Out Believers. It's a YouTube channel, and you can check them out if you like. I have I don't align with them on the timing of everything, but there's a load of information, really, really good information on their channel. So I would encourage you to check them out if you like. Okay, so the first day of Sukkot was Jesus's birthday. And I feel like the man-child is paralleling Jesus. So my thought is that the first day of Sukkot could have been the birth of the man-child. And it speaks of the Word made flesh. It speaks of being hidden. It speaks of God tabernacling with men. And then, and we know that Jesus was hidden for a time before the enemy was able to see him or know about him. So that's kind of a parallel too. All right, so tomorrow is the 8th day. And that was the day that Jesus was circumcised. Jewish children are circumcised on the 8th day. So that would speak of the man-child, in that the man-child has been fully circumcised. It talks of the circumcision of the heart. Now, if you remember the horse dream, that poor horse was fully skinned head to foot, like entirely skinned. And the Lord told me that spoke of full circumcision. And then we saw that the horse's neck needed to be broken. And I believe that that did happen before Yom Kippur, during that last week of testing and tribulation. I felt that that was done. And so now the horse, the man-child, is in right standing before God. So the 8th day is also traditionally for the Hebrews, the day that the Torah was taken out of the Ark of the Presence, the Ark of the Covenant. So it speaks of an unveiling of the Word, right? And we see that Sukkot speaks of the Word made flesh. So if you can follow my thinking here, I am thinking that the man-child on the 8th day will be presented to the world in a place where he can now be seen, which would mean that the enemy who is waiting to devour the man-child would be able to see him. All right. All right, we'll just carry on with the order I have here. I would like everyone to consider that many believe that the last feast day, so the fall feast days, the last of the fall feast days will be the first to be fulfilled on earth. And so we would be moving backwards. Now, not sure. I just thought of something. A friend of mine just texted me this morning to say that she kept getting the word Hanukkah, which is interesting. But okay, we're gonna look at the 8th day for now. So it may be that the 8th day manifests before on earth, like where we can see it, not in the spirit realm, because a lot of things have been happening in the spirit realm, but they haven't been manifesting on earth. So it may manifest first. I'd also like you to consider that tomorrow is the 8th day, and it's also Halloween. Now, the Jews don't believe in coincidences, and neither do I. So that is significant to me. So we shall see. But I am reminded of the face-offs, the showdowns between Elijah and Baal in 1 Kings 18:24. The showdown between Moses and Pharaoh, Exodus 4:21. And the showdown between God and Nimrod from the book of Jasher. These are just thoughts. I am not sure about any of it, but I feel like tomorrow is a significant day. Now, to go back to the word that I got, or what I heard in that dream about by the end of October, we could begin to see the manifestation of the glory. I would like to talk about the manifestation of the glory. What does that mean? So I was led to look up the word shalom. Okay, so the glory is God's goodness, okay, his character, who he is. And I felt to look up the word shalom, which is H7965. And it is what God's people carried, right? His blessing. And it means to be safe, well, happy, friendly, to have health, prosperity, peace, favor, rest, and all is well. And these things wholly and perfectly. That sounds really nice. So, and it lines up with the words that are coming out. Neville Johnson has talked about that the finances are coming. They're about to be released. Healing is coming to the church first and then to the world. These are manifestations of God's goodness. And there was another prophetic word I felt led to listen to just last night. Very, very good word. But what she said, it's entitled, In Fall, You Will Fall. And I'll include the link in the description box. But she said, God is going to manifest his goodness to such an extent that we will fall on our faces before his majesty in just gratitude and thankfulness. So that's a very encouraging word that I would encourage you to listen to. Okay, so, and something else ties in. My son had a picture about 10 years ago when he was 5 or 6 years old. And we were driving in our van, and he looked out the window. He was looking out the window, he was in the back, and he suddenly said, "Mom, I see upside down tornadoes." I thought, okay, interesting. I said, "Do you see anything else?" And he stopped and he waited, and I waited. And then he said, "Mom, they're putting down stuff like houses and cars and all different kinds of things." And I said, "Oh." And then he waited a little longer. He said, "Mom, they're promises." That little boy was profoundly prophetic. He was created to help my husband and sustain him. And yeah, and he was created to administer the gold shot, which I will share that story next. So, oh, and just to interject, God has been telling Rob to thank him for what he's about to do. And it was a sacrifice of thanksgiving when God first told him that. He was not at all feeling thankful. But he thanked God for what he was about to do in obedience. All right, so I'm going to tell you the gold shot story. This also involves Daniel, and it's interesting. We went to a restaurant, and I remember that was the first time that song, I Can Feel It Coming in the Air Tonight, Phil Collins, really hit me. I knew it was significant. I didn't know why, but it just really hit me that night. So we were in this restaurant, and we're just sitting down waiting for our meal to come. And Daniel said to Rob, "Dad, God's going to give you the gold shot." And Rob was like, "Pardon?" Danny goes, "You know, the gold shot. Like a shot. So that when the gold comes, it doesn't affect you in a bad way." And Rob was like, "Okay." So when the gold comes, okay, good. Sounds great. All right, well, thank you, Um, none of us realize, though, if you think about it, what is a shot? It's an injection of death. They inject dead uh, diseases, basically, into you. And your body has to react to that and build its defenses. That's the theory. All right, so what happened was that was when Rob really began to die. And our precious Daniel, that was the last word he shared. Because it broke his heart to see his father get hopeful and disappointed and hopeful and disappointed so many times and die a little more each time. And Daniel loves his dad dearly and was very close to his dad at this point, and it broke his heart. But we also have a word that Rob will rise like a phoenix from the ashes, and his children will see him rise and that will be their resurrection. So, God is good, and He is faithful. So, I had a word for Rob this morning. It is no longer the same old, same old. It's the eve or the dawn or of a new day. So I think I've included pretty well everything that I wanted to share. I believe tomorrow is the beginning of something amazing. And there may be a showdown. We shall see. It's possible we could begin to see the manifestation of the glory. The prophecies are in. There's good news for God's people. And there's healing. So I will be watching. And I pray that you will be watching. And that we will soon see the manifestation of God's glory in the earth. All right. Thank you so much for letting me share. God bless you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.